Hello, friends. I'm traveling, visiting family on this United States Thanksgiving weekend. I wanted to discuss platinum. I've evolved on how I'm doing this. So once again, this is not investment advice for you, but I'm sharing what I've seen and what I'm doing, and perhaps it's helpful to you. As we know, the largest use for platinum right now, which I believe is 40% of platinum is used in automotive industry in catalytic converters and exhaust pipes to reduce the toxic emissions from gasoline engines. That can be affected, demand for that can be affected, obviously, if there's a recession and people are buying fewer cars. And the other obvious risk there is electric vehicles. So I think we're seeing now realism set in, and as wonderful as electric cars are, they're not quite the solution that we all hoped they would be. So for example, myself, I'm thinking of buying a new car and I'm looking at a hybrid, not a fully electric. Fully electric does not work in my situation. So there are many people like that. So my car, if I buy this, will still have a gasoline engine and a catalytic converter. On the plus side for demand, some countries are requesting cleaner exhaust out the pipes, which requires more platinum in the catalytic converter. So I think they call this the loading, right? The platinum loading in the catalytic converter is increasing in some countries, fairly developed countries that sell a lot of cars. So that's a plus to demand. Another plus for demand is water purification and hydrolysis for creating hydrogen from water. These are technologies that are well known. A little bit concerned about the water hydrolysis, to create hydrogen. It appears that there are some other materials that might be able to provide this function beyond platinum, and platinum is expensive. So we'll see. Time will tell. So you basically have three ways to do this. One is you can invest in platinum miners. They're very high dividend paying. They're attractive that way. So mining companies. You can also invest in physical platinum bars and coins. And then there is at least one ETF. All right, so let's start with the miners. Now, I started with the miners. I initially invested in the miners. So South Africa is where all the action is, or most of the action is. So you have your major companies. Impala, the parent company is called Implats, but Impala Platinum is South Africa-based. And then Anglo-American Platinum, which is also based in South Africa. And then Sibanye-Stillwater, which is more diversified geographically. Now, these mining companies, I actually lost money. So even though they had this fantastic dividend, the share prices were declining faster than what I was getting in dividends. So I sold out, and I personally have moved to purchasing physical platinum. So let me explain why. First off, you've got all kinds of issues in South Africa. There's been a pattern of labor unrest in recent years, the workforce demanding more money, more benefits, improved safety, worker safety. Regarding worker safety, Anglo-American, I went to their website in preparation for this, and on their key metrics, one of the very first metrics is nobody died this quarter. Yikes. This is dangerous business. These platinum mines are very, very deep underground. Anglo-American also cited concerns with infrastructure security, meaning they've got these massive facilities, and now they're doing solar farms and such, and they can't get people to leave them alone. People keep stealing components from the mine sites. One of the big three here did recently sign a new contract with their labor force, so hopefully that takes care of their labor issues for a few years. Anglo-American also highlighted that they had a water problem. So South Africa is not exactly a super moist area, and they had a problem with their water supply and had to shut down. So water problems, labor problems, safety issues, infrastructure problems, and then energy issues, right? Unreliable electricity. So you put all this together, and these companies have major challenges. Now, when it all works, they make tons of money, and that's why they pay the big dividend. But when it's not working, there's just a lot of problems. And I don't see that any of these, are going to get dramatically better in the short term. We know about the Fraser Institute, Fraser, Fraser Institute. They rate mining jurisdictions. And South Africa rates in the bottom 10. So it's a tough place to do mining. And that's where the platinum companies are. By the way, there's one more mining company I didn't mention. That's called Zijin, Z-I-G-I-N. I'll put it on the screen here. And again, in full disclosure, I actually owned Zijin Mining for a while. But it's a Chinese-based company with a number of mines around the world. And I liked that geographic diversification. They seem to be profitable. They seem to know how to spin up a mine. But I became concerned with the Chinese government interfering with the business and securities owners, American, United States securities owners such as me. So I actually sold out, having nothing to do with the mining company, but having to do with the Chinese government. Sibanye-Stillwater. So this mining company is diversified, so they certainly have their South African platinum operations, but they do other things. And if you look at their website, they're really emphasizing their move into lithium. I think this is a mistake. I believe automobile battery formulas are going to quickly move away from lithium. So I'm not doing mining companies. I sold my Impala Platinum, I sold my Anglo American Platinum, I sold my Zijin, and I never bought Sibanye-Stillwater. The way I'm going to play this is with physical platinum bars. Now, some people prefer coins instead of bars. I actually prefer bars. This is a future conversation, but I prefer bars over government-issued coins, precious metal coins, because the coins are callable. And the other issue with coins, platinum coins especially, is that the premiums are high. So just from the popular coin dealers, SD Bullion, etc., you can purchase, I'm buying Valcambi bars, sometimes 1 ounce. I'm trying to get the 50 gram or the 100 gram. The 100 grams become a little bit hard to find. And by the way, of my precious metal physical holdings, platinum is 15%, just to give you an idea. Now, the last thing to consider here is an ETF, such as the Sprott Physical Platinum and Palladium Trust. Again, I have high confidence in the Sprott organization, and there's physical metal backing up your investment in those things. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to get the physical quantity to match up what people have purchased through their brokerage. But by and large, it's all there. And sometimes they have more. But the other thing that's pretty interesting about this is you can sometimes buy the trust shares at a discount to net asset value. What that means is that you can actually buy below the market price for platinum. Now, they do charge 1% a year in fees. Storage, insurance, inventory, right? Have to do that, costs money. I checked 2 days ago, and the discount to net asset value was 2.04%. And the fees are 1% per year. So this means that basically you could buy shares in the trust at 2% below net asset value, and it would be 2 years before you would break even, right? Now, in addition, buying shares in the trust, there's no premium. Platinum has an interesting future. It's going to be, but we don't know how it's going to play out, right? You've got the automotive industry perhaps gradually phasing it out. You have other industries, water purification and hydrolysis perhaps increasing in usage. There are dozens of other uses of platinum, such as reflective glass, right? Heat reflecting glass, things like that. So there's plenty of uses for platinum. But for owning the physical, time doesn't matter quite so much. You buy it, you stick it in storage, and yeah, you do have to pay a little bit for storage, but in the whole scheme of things, it's not that much. So I don't care. Maybe it takes 10 or 20 years to see how it plays out. So that's my take on platinum. I hope you've been able to celebrate how much God loves you in this Thanksgiving season. Keep that in mind. You are loved. So, all right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.